What's a crime? Bonjour famille. Bump Jones here, holding it down for Sprinkles of Salt Podcast. I'm at the motherfucking Stoop, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And guess who I found? None other than...
Yo, what up, Bump? BusFoot in the house. Here at Sammy Sheets and Friends.
BusFoot.
Mini bar.
I love it.
My favorite way to spend a Tuesday night.
No shit. I want to ask, like, bro, first of all, BusFoot, you are a producer, and I would say underground extraordinaire, because a lot of the who's of the underground folks know your beats, right? But you're not like super like, yo, I'm out here. So I guess my question is why? Like, why are you so shy about your beats, bro?
Man, I don't know if it's a matter of being shy so much as it is. I just like creating, you know?
Okay.
That's what I have fun doing that. I'm not that like the pushing all of it out there.
You're in the lab kind of guy.
Getting my name out there is like something I do to the extent that I have to get people to hear it.
Right.
But that's my least favorite part of all of this. You know,
I want to make the beats, man.
Yeah, let me make the beats. Let me collaborate with people. I love doing shows here. But I don't know, man. I always look at music as something I'm always thinking of how I could do it better. And because of that, I'm always a tough critic.
You're like, nope, not ready yet. Not ready yet.
Yeah.
And that's actually normal because you're a producer. Like you're an audiophile. You're like really dialed into the sound, into how it's supposed to go, right?
Yeah, we producers, we tend to overthink everything. Like, the more you learn, the more you realize what could be different.
Oh, that's what it is.
You know,
that's what it is.
You
right?
listen to your stuff from like 5 years ago or even 6 months ago, and you're like, oh man,
whole new sound.
I could have done this if I had only known this then.
So let me ask you, with that in mind, like, how do you decide what beat you're ready to, like, okay, I'm gonna let this person rap over it, or I'm gonna let somebody do something with this?
So, I mean, it depends who might be rapping over it. I got a handful of MCs that I work with some, and with them, it's kind of a real open thing. I send them a beat or a folder with a few beats, whatever, and I tell them, like, look, if you like it, tell me. If you don't, tell me, and I'll see if someone else. Like, I won't be offended if you don't like it.
Okay.
I just think, hey man, this beat sounds interesting. I dig it. Maybe you'll dig it too.
What can you do with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you never know. Like, just because somebody doesn't want to rap on a beat, it doesn't mean the beat's no good. It means that person doesn't want to rap on that beat.
That's a fucking gem for y'all, for real. Like, no, for real, because some of you producers, because y'all are creatives, you're sensitive. And so a lot of times you have these beats that are dope, but you're like, I don't know if someone's going to listen to it. You know what I mean? And then some of you motherfucking artists are like, nah, because you didn't like a couple of the beats that the producer sent, like, oh, he's whack. Well, yeah, whack to you. But, dude, you might be a whack-ass rapper on the beat anyway, so thank you for skipping, motherfuckers.
Yeah, you have no idea what people are going to like. You know, I've put out some beat tapes where, like, there may be one or two beats that I was a little on the fence, like, should that go on there or not?
And then
it ends up being somebody's favorite beat every time.
That's how it works.
Every time somebody hits me up like, yo, that was my favorite joint on the tape, and I'm like, really? I don't even like it that much. I liked it enough to put it on there, but it's not great.
Now let me ask you, when BusFoot is doing like chores around the house and shit, are you playing some of your own beats? What are you playing? Like, are you like digging for, sounds at that time? What's going on?
So a lot of times what I'm doing, if I'm in the process of actively making something, what I'll do is I got my headphones on and I'm pacing around the house, listening, is the mix good?
Yeah.
Should I change something about it? So I've always got all my recent beats that are like works in progress are always downloaded on my phone, so I can just play through them over and over.
Through it.
Yeah, I'll plan a whole evening in my house out of just pacing around listening to shit. That's like, my wife knows it too. She's like, you're going to pace tonight, aren't you? I'm like, yeah. Like that's an activity in my house.
Hey, that might be a live stream and shit. BusFoot pacing and shit.
Yeah.
And low-key, that's a project now.
You see behind the making of BusFoot
Right,
Beats, it's
hey.
just me pacing around in the kitchen. And
Hey, if that shit happens, you heard it here first. Now, okay, speaking of kind of like making of a BusFoot beat, do you recall the first beat you ever made?
So I recall like a few early beats.
Okay.
I remember very vividly the first time I tried to make a beat, but I can't. That whole memory.
What did it
is
sound
very-
like?
It was. I mean, so it was horrible. It wasn't even really a beat. Like I finally got my hands on. I think it was would have been like 2001, and I got my hands on like a crack copy of Fruity Loops or something. And I'm I'm in there trying to program some drums.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything back then. Like I didn't know even like tempo, time signature, like
Right.
basic stuff you should probably know if you want to make a beat. You know what I mean?
He's like, let me just put this together and see how it
Yeah,
sounds.
yeah, yeah.
That's how it starts, though, right? I
Yep.
mean, that's the beauty of discovery. That's
Yeah.
hip-hop, motherfuckers.
I mean, back then there wasn't a YouTube I could look up how do I make a beat, and I didn't have friends who made beats either. So
Oh,
I was
wow.
largely left to my own devices. Like I know that I gotta sample something. I know drums need to get there somehow. And it took me, because I was doing it that way without much guidance, it took me a long time to get to a point where I felt I was even decent at it. But
I mean, shit, you're here now, bro, and these motherfuckers are going crazy. Now, I want to ask those that I feel like you rap on some of your beats too sometimes, or is that not the case? Is there some surprise verses out there?
there might be some things happening currently that
okay.
I can't say much, but
Right.
so back I used to rap a little bit.
Okay.
But mostly like I enjoyed writing a lot. And also back then my beats were pretty shitty, so nobody else was gonna rap on
So
them.
he's like,
You know, so I wanted somebody to, you know what I mean?
I love it.
But it wasn't. I never back then. I never took it as seriously as I took the beat making, and I ended up with just a bunch of unfinished songs because of that. But recently, I've been working on some stuff that involve my beats, my raps, and that's about all I can say about that.
Resurrect some shit. I love it.
And this is the breaking news on this thing, because this is not something I have talked about. So, but yeah, there are some things happening. That's all I would
heard
say.
it first. Now look, I want to ask this. Something I've been asking everybody, bro. Did I ask you what is steez?
Nah, you haven't. You haven't.
Let me ask you that. Tell me from BusFoot's point of view, what does steez mean to you?
So what it means to me kind of stems from like what it meant to me probably, I want to say it was probably 98 or 99. And a friend of mine had that full clip Decade of Gangstar,
Yes.
that 2-disc CD.
Yes.
And we would just,
on.
that was back when we had the CD changers in the trunk.
Man,
So
yes.
whatever went in there was going to be in there for like months.
wow.
Yeah, and so to me back then it kind of gave me that feel of like your attitude, your vibe, your style, how you do things, that sort of thing. That interpretation of it always stuck with me, I
I
suppose.
love it. That's been a common thread so far. We're gonna see as the night goes on what steez means to us here at the Underground. But speaking of Underground, I want to ask you, because I would say you're probably considered an underground producer.
Yeah, very underground.
What did by choice? I'll tell you, by choice.
Yeah, all by choice.
But
Yeah.
but seriously, though, what does the underground as a concept or as a term? What does that mean to you?
Honestly, man, not a lot. Not as much as it used to.
Okay.
You know, back when I was getting into hip hop was kind of in that late '90s time period, and back then there was that real big like underground versus mainstream thing happening.
Yep.
And so back then I was really anti-mainstream and pro underground, but now I realize like there are talented dope people on both ends of that spectrum. Like just because you're mainstream doesn't mean you're necessarily a sellout, and just because you're underground doesn't mean that you're whack. It just means that people haven't heard you, or like like my beats, for example, like I can make some weird stuff sometimes, and I understand when I hear it. I'm like, yeah, if this was on the top 40 station,
it might not hit.
People might be confused, you know, like I get that. So I have no expectations of being anything other than underground, you know?
Okay. Now, I want to ask, we're wrapping up 2024. Year's just about over. What's the most unique Steez-like thing that's happened to you this year? Like that one incident or moment or anything that's like, that was my 2024 in a nutshell right there.
Oh, man. So I got to say, probably, I mean, it's been a great year all around. Done some shows here.
That's what's up.
You know, had some just cool progress in my personal life, all that good stuff. But one of the cooler things I got to do was do a beat set over at Paint Lewis.
Oh, shit.
Rakim was on the stage later that night.
Yo, shout out to Rakim. Shout out to my man Aztec and DJ C's. They were at Paint Lewis. You were there.
That was, I did a little beat set. And then Unlimited Consciousness and Jay Welch were doing sets, so I played the beats in the back for them. And but no, just that whole event was really dope. That was one of the highlights of my year for sure. Just seeing my name on a flyer with Rakim, like that's like I retired after that.
We're done.
It's officially over.
I haven't had kids yet. It's over. No more. All right, man. Look, I gotta get you the fuck up out of here. But before we go, man, I want to ask folks. First of all, where can they find you? And second of all, like, what's the experience you want them to walk away from after they hear a BusFoot beat?
So, as far as where to find me, IG is probably the best bet there. BusFoot, KC Mo. Simple enough. I've been kind of lacking on that lately, but when I do things, you'll hear it there. And what was the second part of that?
When it's all said and done, what is it you want folks to walk away with? When they hear a BusFoot beat?
I mean, so I want their head to nod first and foremost.
There we go. Right.
If the head isn't nodding, something like you got to feel it, right?
Okay.
But I want people to, I don't know, like sometimes it's a straight banger, or sometimes it's soulful. But generally speaking, I want people to be like just a tiny bit uncomfortable. Like there's something weird about this.
Yeah.
It's a banger. My head's nodding, but like what the hell was that?
Doing?
Yeah. Like, what's that weird ass sample that was in there? I'm confused, but I'm happy. Like, that's what it is.
So look,
be confused and happy when you hear my beats.
Confused and happy, it's
that's what I want.
A BusFoot beat. So look, man, I appreciate the hell out of you, man. Thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate you having me on here.
With that, you got to get the fuck out of the Stoop, man. Thank you so much.
Man.
Peace.